Hello everyone, I'm Tam, and we're back with another episode of Spurious Dishes. Today I will try to make some beef tendon butter soup. I have some leftover beef tendon, about half a pound of beef tendon, as you see. It looks kind of weird, but that's what it is, beef tendon. I have over here half a onion. I have half a garlic bulb, so it's about 8 cloves or so. I like garlic, that's why I have so many. You may want only 2 or 4, depending on your preference. And I have some veggies as well, some peas and carrots. The usual suspects for soup. And I have a bit of black pepper to add add some hotness to the soup. Be careful not to use too much because you will probably have digestion issues later on. Every time I overconsume black pepper, like about 1/4 of a tablespoon, some of that, in whatever dish I have, I generally have some stomach issues later on. Let's put it that way. I have about, 1 glass, which is, roughly half a cup. Half a cup of pure water. I'll probably use 2 glasses to actually make the soup broth itself. Anyway, so that's the plan. And of course, butter, the second main ingredient in the butter soup. About 4 tablespoons. You may want more or less depending on your preference. And that's the gist of things. So first thing I'll do is slice these long side, about 3 or 4 inches thick. You can't really eat most of this. Yeah, it's more for it's more for flavoring the soup, and also something to kind of gnaw on. Some parts of this you can't eat, like the outside of it, like these tendons. Most of it is just kind of like bone, or hard stuff you don't really want to eat. So it's more for getting the collagen out of the tendons into the broth. So the broth is very rich and flavorful. Yeah, and so 3 to 4 inches thick should be good to go. We'll let those simmer in the broth for maybe an hour or so. So I'll do that last actually, because I have some veggies right here. So the rule of thumb I believe is that if you cut meat on the board, you have to wash it to wash away the bacteria, and then you do the veggies. Otherwise, the veggies get contaminated by the parasites. So let's start with the veggies first. I'll dice these onions into nice small cubes. About a fourth of a inch thick by 1/4 inch. I'll similarly dice these as well. I don't want these too minced up, so not too small. About the same size as the onion is probably what I'll aim for, because if they're too small, it probably kind of irritating to eat. With the onion. If they're the same size, then it's kind of a different texture when you chew it, versus chewing something completely different. You know what I'm saying? So that's the plan. So let's start with those. Those will be minced, and then I'll also do this, and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, and now we're back. I have cut up the onions and the garlic. They're about the same size, you see? Like the excuse me, both the onion and the garlic are kind of same size. So when you chew on it, the only thing that's kind of different is a bit of the flavor, and also the texture. But the bite size all are the same. Yeah. So instead of having 2 different drastically bite size, for example, this is there's a big. And the garlic is super small. It's kind of it's kind of awkward to eat, is what I would envision. So we keep this the same, so it's just not as awkward, when you eat it. and I sliced up the beef tendons. So I see about like 3 or 4, 3 or 4 inches thick. You know, most of this over here is mostly just, I guess, the bone or the ligaments. This is mainly the fatty part, just pure fat basically, or I guess tendons, stretchy muscles. I'm going to try to caramelize and sear these with the onion and the garlic, and then this is mostly to just get the juice, the collagen out of the bone. So that's what it is. Okay, so now I have already started on the butter. 4 tablespoons of butter, all melted. We're first going to start with the onion and try to get those caramelized, so a nice kind of brown color. It should take like 5 or 7 minutes, and then we'll throw in both the garlic and the fatty part of the beef tendon, and try to get those a bit kind of like try to get those also a bit caramelized, so a bit brown. When the fatty parts cook, they should also release a bit of the beef fat itself. So then at the end, we should have a nicely brown onion, decently brown garlic and beef fat, with a bit of butter and beef juice mixed together. So let's start on that. Let me put the phone to the side so I can put in the onion. And to show you, just carefully do this because the pot was kind of hot, so it's kind of, oh, okay, never mind. I thought it was gonna jump on me. Just do this nice and slow. All right. So let's start with this first because the onions cook a bit longer than the garlic. So let's not do that. So this turn to like medium to high. Just get my spoon. Medium to high is where you want it to be at, so you can like stir fry these to a nice caramelized color. Make sure you move all around so that the butter is covering all the goodness of the onion. So I'll come back when these are nice and brown, and then we'll throw in the garlic and the fatty part of the beef tendon. Okay, so as you can see, these are starting to brown. Yes, about halfway through caramelization. So I'm gonna now start to add the garlic and also the beef fat. Sorry if I said to fully caramelize them, because you want everything to cook at once and near the end. So so in the next, I guess, 5 or 10 minutes, the onions, the garlic, and also the beef fat will be done at the same time. So sorry about that. Let me put the phone to the side here for a moment. Well, I put in the other ingredients. Fill in these garlics, and also these beef fat, the fatty part of the beef tendons, nice and big. All right. Let me just quickly rinse my hands. From the beef fat, and then turn the heat back on to around medium high. So medium high about there. So we can then begin also browning, releasing the juices from the fat, you know, the garlic and everything else. See? So now just do this until the onion definitely browns fully. You see a bit of brown on the beef fat as well, nice and a bit tender, and then also the definitely garlic. So I'll come back when those are done. Okay, so now as you can see, the fatty part is starting to brown a little bit. The onions are a bit more brown, as well as the garlic. Everything's looking pretty happily in there. So now let's add the actual like water, liquid part of it. And I put the phone to the side. I'll add the remaining beef part of it. So the rest of the tendons goes into the thing. Nice and neat. I should have used a bigger pot. That's fine. That's good. It still fits. Okay. All right. And then we're gonna actually add a bit of the pepper now. Just a little bit. Yeah, be careful here because pepper usually causes a lot of inflammation. So like I don't know, like a pinch of pepper. See, there's like a instead of salt bay, pepper bay, like a little bit of that. Like just a little bit. That's all I need. Nothing else. Just to add a bit of like hotness to the soup. And then just here, throw in the actual water here. You can use, I guess, beef stock, or I guess, oops, and put it over here into the sink. You can use beef stock if you want to. It probably has a better overall taste than just regular water. I mean, the butter and the beef fat definitely flavors it, but not as much as using a beef stock. Yeah. Beef stock definitely has more flavor. Add a bit more water in this, so it covers at least the top of it. Probably like that, and then a little bit more. So about probably 1 cup of water, 1 cup of water, something like that. And let me just take the camera back again. All right, so as you can see, it covers like the top of it like this, okay? So at least like the top plus like maybe like a little bit, like maybe like half an inch or something on average. So let's see everything's nice and mixed up here. We're gonna let these simmer for I don't know, like maybe half an hour to an hour, so that the collagen and the nutritional value of these harder parts. So these parts are hard to eat. However, they do have a lot of like good stuff inside, you know, like inside the marrow and stuff like that. So we want these to seep into the broth, so the broth is nice and juicy. Yep. So I'll let this like simmer for like half an hour to an hour. So for those who don't know what simmer is, like you bring it to like a gentle kind of boil, so it kind of like just cooks like that. And then once that is ready-ish, I'll throw in the last ingredient, which is the veggies, and then we'll have a nice feast. All right, so the tendons are more or less fully extracted. As you can see, the insides are popping out here. So most of the juices and nutrients that I want, nutrients that I want to get out of this is now inside the broth, more or less. Yeah, it's like bulging out. So that's about as good as it gets, is what I'm trying to say, in terms of like nutrient extraction. Smells nice and sweet with a bit of pepper. Tastes a bit, tastes like yeah, also tastes nice and sweet. However, I use a lot of water in comparison to the actual butter, so it tastes a bit bland. I may add a bit of salt, moistened salt, you know, to see how it goes. Before I do that, let us put in the vegetables now. Hopefully the peas kind of like add more sweetness, and the carrots add a bit of like tartness to it. So we'll see if I need to actually flavor this even more once I finish this part. Yeah, put the phone down for a little bit. I'm sorry about that. Just mentioning this. Here we are. All right, so leave it there. So I probably will add most of it here. Let's see. And I'll add all of it. Why not? Most of the liquid is kind of like evaporated from boiling for like an hour now. So simmering rather for an hour or so. Yeah, the carrots you add a bit of like groundness to it. kind of earthiness to it, kind of earth taste to it. So let's see how it goes. So now the peas and carrots will cook pretty quickly, about like I guess 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll bring it back to a simmer. Let it go for like another 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll have our soup ready. Our soup will be done. All right, and now it should be good to go. Let me just so let me taste the peas. They're fairly soft and tender. Still has a nice crunch to it. It's been about like I think 15 minutes, some of that. And let me test the broth right now, because the broth was kind of bland before I added the peas. So now let me just smell it first. It has a nice sweet pea aroma added to it. And yeah, as I expected, the peas added a nice sweet taste to it, and the carrots give it a nice like kind of like earthy flavor as well. So that's actually really good now. Like the broth is really good now. It's pretty much perfect. I don't need to like put more tin salt or anything like that. It's pretty much good to go. Okay, so I'll grab like half of this. This is like 2 servings. So I'll come back to you when I have that done. And there is a final product. As you can see, it looks a bit like pork from the distance, the broth, but there's definitely butter and beef there. So I'll just move around a little bit there. See the different flavors, the different colors there. That's probably a real nice angle. Yeah, that looks like a very good angle right there, actually. Wow. And there you go. This is the beef tendon butter soup. Let me smell it right now. It has a nice butter taste. The butter and the pea has a nice like sweet aroma. The onion and the carrots add a complex earthy flavor, earthy smell to it. And the tendons added like a nice area, like a light smell to it, like from the collagen smell of it. All right, so let's see what this so first the broth tastes like. All right, smells great. That is a really good broth. Like it goes down very like smooth. It's not like a thick broth. It's very like watery. However, like however you can tell it's very heavy from the butter and also the collagen and the nutrients from the beef tendon. So it goes down very like smooth and quick, and it feels really heavy, nice and heavy. It's like honestly, the broth by itself is probably like you could probably just like eat the broth as it is and like feel pretty full afterwards. So that's a good sign. Good sign anyway. That's a really nice broth. All right. So now the veggies, see what it tastes like. There's a bit of the garlic. See what that feels like. The garlic just evaporated into my mouth. It's just like melted instantly. It has like nice it still has a bit of garlic to it. However, it's just mostly for texture. It's just melts in your mouth instantly. The carrots are still a bit hard, not too hard, pretty manageable to chew on. It definitely would be better if the carrots were like much more like the garlic kind of just melts in your mouth. All right, so the onion, same thing, melts in your mouth basically instantly. And the peas is the hardest part. It's still very hard on the outside. On the inside, it's kind of soft. So when you chew into it, it kind of like bursts a little bit, when you chew into the pea, it bursts into like a little liquid, because some of the broth seeped into the pea. So when you bite into the pea, for example, when you bite into the pea, you know, so some of a little bit of the broth kind of comes out as well. So you get the pea itself inside plus a little broth, so it's nice. And then you have the actual tendons here. Usually these cook for several hours to kind of break them down, because they're so hard to like eat as is, because you can digest this. However, it's really hard to like do it by yourself. It usually takes several hours to like just simmer this into like a very easy to chew on and kind of swallow. It's like fibrous, very fibrous. Let me see for a moment. Tendons smell good. So has it already now. They're still pretty hard to like eat. You can like, I guess, simmer the broth for a bit more. You see? Do you see? I was able to chew it out. I was able to split this in half with my teeth, so it's not too hard. It's just kind of fibrous and hard, and still kind of tough to swallow. This piece, kind of the same size as this one. I chewed this for about 15 minutes. Kind of broke it down, see? But it's still hard to swallow. So what you can do instead of throwing this away, use a scissor to break it down even more. So you break it down even more with a scissor. It's completely edible. It just takes a lot of time to like chew and eat. You can break this down a bit more with the scissor, and then just eat the little bit there, instead of throwing that away to the trash can. That's another option you do. My intent with this beef tendon was just to flavor the broth. The broth as it is, the broth plus the veggies are itself a pretty good meal. Honestly, like just these two alone are pretty good. That could probably keep you full for like 3 to 4 hours. So yeah. So this is our beef tendon butter soup.